Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss a concept called strings in Java. So what is a string? So string is going to represent a group of characters. Okay. So strings are represented as string objects in Java. So the string is defined in the java.lang package, and hence it is implicitly available to all the programs in the Java. So the string class is declared as final, which means that it cannot be subclassed. Okay, so it extends the object class and implements the serializable. So and also comparable and also character sequence. So these are all nothing but the interfaces. So serializable, comparable, and character sequences are all the interfaces. So this strings is going to extend the object class and it is going to implement in these all interfaces. Java is going to implement strings as objects of type string. So whereas a string is nothing but a sequence of characters. So unlike of the most languages, so Java treats a string as a single value rather than an array of characters. Okay, so here if you observe, so here it has been specified with the string S1 is equal to example and string S2 is equal to new string of example and string S3 is equal to example. The main difference between this S1 and S3 statements is, so as the string is same over here, so the S1, S3 will be pointing to the same memory location. So this string called example will be stored in one memory, and that memory location will be pointed for both S1 and S3. So this is nothing but a string pool over here. Whereas, so S2 is pointing to a memory location which is on the heap. Okay, so using the new operator, it is going to create a memory location on the heap over here. So concatenating this S1 and S3 will lead to the creation of a new string in the pool. Okay, so we can say this string is a thread set. So it cannot be used by two threads simultaneously. Okay, so that means multiple threads cannot be used for this strings. Next, we'll be discussing with the concept string handling in Java. So here we are concentrating on the string class methods. Okay, so the first one is string comparison. So this string class is going to define various methods that are used to compare strings or substrings within the strings. So each of them is discussed in the following actions like equals, ignore case, compared to ignore case. Likewise, we will be making use of so many methods for doing this string comparison. So coming to this, firstly coming with the equals call. So this is the equals method is used to check whether the object that is passed as an argument to the method is equal to the string object that invokes the method or not. Okay, it returns true if and only if the argument is a string object that represents the same sequence of characters. Okay, next, equals ignore case. So this equals ignore case is nothing but this method is used to check the equality of the two strings. Okay, so two string objects without taking into consideration the case of characters contained in the two strings. So it is going to return true if the two strings are of the same length and if the corresponding characters in the two strings are the same, ignoring case. Okay, so usually the signature of this is equal to the equals ignore case method will be like this. So boolean I is equal to string 1 dot equals ignore case of string 2. So which is going to check the equality of the two string objects. So without taking into the consideration of case of characters contained in these two strings. Okay, so next one is region matches. So in this region matches, it is going to check the equality of two string regions, whether the two string regions belonging to two different strings or not. So generally the signature of the method will be like this. Okay, so public Boolean region matches int start index, okay, string str2 int start index integer length. So there is also an overloaded version of the method. So that is going to test the equality of the substring, ignoring the case of characters in the substring. Okay. So if it is like that of substring ignoring the case of characters indices, then the signature will be like this. Public Boolean region matches Boolean ignored case int start index string str2 int start index to integer length. In both these signatures of the method, start index is going to specify the starting index of the substring within the invoking string. Okay, then this str2 argument specifies the method, that means the string to be compared. And next, start index 2 is going to specify the starting index of the substring within the string to be compared over here. And this length argument is specifying the length of the substring which is being compared. However, so the signature of the method, that means the comparison is done ignoring the case of the characters in the substring only if the ignore case argument is true. Okay, next one is public string. So this constructor is going to create an empty string object. However, the use of this constructor is unnecessary because string objects are immutable. Next one is public string char value. So this constructor is going to create a new string object, so which is initialized with the same sequence of characters which is currently contained in the array that is passed as an argument to it. Whereas coming to this public string char value, int start index and integer length. So this constructor is going to create a new string initialized with the same sequence of characters currently contained in the subarray. So this subarray is derived from the character array and the two integer values that are passed as an arguments to the constructor. Here the int variable represents that means the int variable of this start index is representing the index value of the starting character of the subarray. And this int variable of len represents the number of characters to be used to perform a new string object. Okay, next one is public string buffer SPF. So this constructor is going to create a new string object that contains the same sequence of characters currently contained in the string buffer argument. Next with public string byte ASCII chars. So the array of bytes that is passed as an argument to the constructor contains the ASCII character set. Okay, so therefore, so this array of bytes is first decoded using the default character set of the platform. So then the constructor is going to create a new string object which is initialized with the same sequence of characters, so which are obtained after decoding the array. Next, so these are also the other methods that we are going to use in this strings, that is character array. So this character art is going to return the characters at the specified position. Okay, next code pointed. So this code pointed method is going to return the Unicode of the character at the specified index. That means at the specified position, it is going to return the Unicode. That means it will be returning the integer value over here. Next, code point before. So this will be returning the Unicode of the character. So before the specified index. Okay. So this is with whatever the position we are specifying, that value it is going to return, whereas this method is going to return the integer value which is before to the specified position. Next, code point count. So this is going to return the Unicode in the specified text range of the string. That means here we will be specifying the text range. For that, it is going to return that Unicode in that specific text range only. That means it is also giving that is returning the integer type only. As we know that compares to is going to compare the two strings of the thing. Okay. Next, compare to ignore case. So this is also we have just discussed, that is it is going to compare two strings by ignoring the case differences, whether it might be the uppercase or else it might be the lowercase. Next, concatenation. Concatenation is nothing but appending a string to the end of the another string is nothing but a concatenation. That means we are trying to add or else we are trying to combine two strings over here. Okay, so obviously the return type will be the string only. Next one is contains. So this method is going to check whether the string contains a sequence of characters or not. Okay, so that means here we are just checking with the condition whether it is true or false. Okay, so that means this contains method is going to return the type called Boolean, whether it is true or false. Next, content equals. So this is also going to return the Boolean type only. Why? Because it is going to check whether a string contains the exact same sequence of characters for the mentioned character sequence of a string buffer. Okay, next, copy value of. So this method is going to return a string that represents the characters of the character array. That means the return value will be of the string only, string type only. Okay, so it is going to return the string that represents a character of the characters of the character array. Next one is ends with. So this is also a type of method which is going to return as a Boolean value. Okay, so it will be checking whether a string ends with the specified characters or not. For example, if we are specifying the A letter, okay, then it is going to check with whether that particular string is ending with the letter called A or not. Okay, if it is ending with that letter A in this sense, then it will be returning the Boolean type. Otherwise, the Boolean type called true. Otherwise, it is going to return the Boolean value called false. Okay, next equals. So this is also the type of Boolean return. Okay, so it is going to compare two strings. It returns true if the strings are equal. Okay, if it is not equal in the sense, it is going to return false value. Okay, so these are the various types of methods we are using for handling these strings in Java. Okay, so here string is said to be an object in the Java. Okay, so we are also saying that string is a thread save. Okay, it cannot be used by two threads simultaneously. If the same string is pointed to the different names in the sense, then these two different strings will be pointing to the same memory location, which we are calling like a string pool. And these are the various string class methods we are using to handle these strings in Java. Thank you.